it was a struggle up there.
With the baby.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
Then
And then Jonathan walked in. I'm
You're like,
oh, there's
okay,
the
I'm not
energy.
that loud.
Yeah.
All right.
Am I loud?
No.
Are you saying that sarcastically?
No,
it's your
compared
house.
to me,
She was trying to be quiet. You came in. You're like, hey, baby girl.
I'm like, oh, so it's okay. Like,
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Socially Unacceptable But Sober podcast. My name is Dino. I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Jonathan. I'm alcoholic.
Jonathan. And with tonight, we have a special guest. Who are you?
my name is Zandra. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Zandra.
And not to forget, we didn't miss our third compadre, Matt. He's freelancing down in Florida for his
Mom's
birthday.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Matt.
Here in spirit. Be here next week.
You guys, I know we've been gone for a little while. We took a little hiatus. Took a little time off.
Little hi, how you doing, Adis?
You know what I mean? Holidays, all that stuff, babies, things happening. So we took a little time, regroup, try to come up with some fresh ideas. So that's where we've been in case you missed us. So I'm going to go into my regular spiel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share.
You tried to really blame that on the baby right there?
You had a baby.
Yeah, that was like 8 months ago.
Still a baby. She's still a baby. Comments, we're still doing the comments. If you have some comments, if you need help, let us know. We got guys. Jonathan's going to put all that stuff on the screen as usual. But we are back, and it's really good to be back.
Yeah, let's get into some of the comments real quick. Like,
Go ahead, man.
You want to hear some stuff? So, speaking of people missing us, Bill Heese, guys, what happened? You're killing me. Love what you're doing. Don't give up on us. Like that.
We won't give up.
Jennifer Moreland, Matt Winstead, Mad River, 8 p.m. Wednesday nights. I don't know what that's about. But thank you, Will. I appreciate you. Relatable does not even come close. And
Will was awesome.
this, thank you so much for replying to my email. Have a great day. Yep, this was a girl who emailed us about moving and reconnecting. Got through 41 episodes probably in about 2 weeks, I think. Oh, and then Crystal. Excellent show, y'all. Will, I've just been starting to get to know you, and you're an awesome dude. He sure is. Hearing your story that night really put things in perspective for myself. I like how you stated you weren't sure if you were trying to be a chameleon. I was the same. However, I called it more a lone wolf and just got along with everyone. Nothing wrong with that. That's right. And then there became two. And then there's a bunch more, man. That's from the movie, right?
I know.
And
That's why I'm laughing at one of my favorite movies.
Best apology, change behavior. Matt, why are you holding your glasses? And then Colin James.
Yeah.
Congratulations on episode 40, guys. I recently came to Waterbury area, and I'm doing what was shown to me years ago. Show up and listen. Every time I listen to Will, he always ends his shares with a solution. 100%. Power of example. Grateful he's in my network today. Great episode, guys. Dino was a little loud, though. Sorry. I guess you were a little loud.
And then just wait.
This is a new person, Butka. This is great. Nice job, Will. Much love from Meriden. Jay Gentile. Always like the show. You guys helping so many people. Keep the great work up. Manny left a little quote. It's a long quote, so I'm gonna
Shorten it up.
Yeah. Now, just go onto the website and just go. Oh my God! Look how long it is. Look how long that quote is.
Wow, Manny.
Yeah. So go check out episode 41 and read Manny's nice little quote. And that's a wrap.
Very nice. Will, if you're listening, thank you so much for taking us out of 2024, man. You were fantastic, and we really appreciated having you here. Tonight, we have our guest, Zandra, who's going to tell us a little bit about her experience, strength, and hope. So she's going to chew the fat for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to start interrupting her. So are you ready?
Just ready as all.
Born ready.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, baby. So what do you got, man? Tell us a little about yourself, Zandra.
My name is Zandra. I'm an alcoholic.
Zandra.
What's up, Zandra?
Hello. My sobriety date is July 30th, 2022. And if I can draw back to where it all began, it actually started as a kid. When I had my first drink, I was about 8 years old, and I don't even know how I got my hands on it. It was just adults doing their thing. And, I'm like, oh, can I taste this? And I did. And immediately it was like, wow, this feels really nice.
Nice and
really
warm.
nice. And I wanted more.
Do you remember what it
So,
was?
I don't remember what it was. Do I remember what anything was? And we'll get to that. But it was just a big rush, and that's my memory. I just always wanted that first drink, that good feeling. And throughout my teenage years, I did not do much of that drinking. I did a lot of, can I have some? Can I taste this? That sort of thing. But it wasn't until I graduated high school that I really, took off. I started using my sister's ID and going to nightclubs and bars and just coming home pretty shit-faced. And all I wanted was to do it again.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Every time. And even if I felt bad, like if I had a headache or a hangover, I'm like, oh, I'll never do this again. Everything I said I'll never do or never do again, it was just so repetitive. And I couldn't see that. I just thought what my family taught me, well, not necessarily that.
Right.
It's kind of sad to say that. But, work hard, play hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And I played really hard.
Yes.
And then it goes from there. You start hanging out with people who are much like you, because I couldn't associate myself with people who just drink sensibly.
Yeah. They don't make sense to me still,
It's just
Zandra.
I'm confused. But
Don't leave that wine out.
yeah. And then I started experimenting with some drugs. The first thing was weed. And I really liked that first high. I mean, I could tell you exactly where I was and the feeling, and I could just draw it all back. And I was forever chasing. Forever. I just didn't know that that's what was happening to me. So each time I tried something new, it was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like, here I come.
Can't believe I didn't find this
There
earlier.
I go. Yeah. So, that was really what my 20s were about: drinking, drugging, partying, and trying to make it to work the next day, not reeking of booze. I did my best to maintain a work life. I really don't know how I managed it. I thought I wasn't a blackout drinker.
But I don't really remember.
Until, people had to highlight some of my nights. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen.
Don't
And
sound
then-
like me.
And then they send in confirmation from other friends. And it's like, really? Why? But I did a lot of that blackout drinking. And I still didn't have a problem.
Of course not.
I didn't have a problem. I mean, why?
Everybody else got the problem.
It's
Was
them.
there any evidence on social media or anything like that? Did you have to deal with that?
I mean, I have a second social media page, everything. That it's like, why am I trying to live a new life? I don't know.
Yeah.
But every photo I go back into throughout my 20s, it was always like a martini glass. Like that was just the picture. And that was me trying to feel normal when I sat at a bar, because I did a lot of drinking outside on the street corner. I did a lot of drinking at home. My mother, she'd be like, what are you doing again? It's 10 in the morning. I said, Ma, it's just wine.
Yeah.
And
It's just fine. Come on.
It's grapes.
I mean, it's not that strong.
It's good for you.
Grapes, fruit.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the yard. It felt right. It's just, I don't know. But I didn't see it going where it led to.
We never do.
Yeah.
We're always the last
Yeah,
one to
it's
find out.
how.
You know what I mean?
So sneaky.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, with all the experimenting that I did, those dry goods will get you.
Oh.
And I was a little hesitant to really describe what I'm getting to, but eventually I got to the point where my body was starting to hurt, my joints. Everything was so achy, and I'm young. I'm like, what's going on? I'm so healthy. You know, maybe I'm allergic to the food. Maybe I have like a gluten allergy or something. I don't
said
know.
that.
There's something going on. It's
Yeah.
in the food.
Yeah.
It's never the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, or
I
the
got a-
hangovers.
I got a colonoscopy before I would admit I was drinking too much. Yeah, go ahead.
So he
Do the
switched to
colon-
Tito's because it was
fuck it.
gluten free.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I
Drop
didn't even
it.
think of that. Well, anyhow, one of my friends, he approached me and said, "Try this," and he hands me a little bag, and it happened to be dope. And I tried it. And
delicious.
It tried me,
Oh, yeah.
and it tried me hard,
Oh, yeah.
real hard. That was a sensation that I clung to. I mean, I remember, like I said, I remember every first time because that's just who I am. It's what I've done. And I continued to do it. I even changed my name.
What was it?
Oh.
So I was really struggling with my new lifestyle. I was seeing someone, and he happened to be married at the time. I was also not trying to get my name
Right.
smashed on.
Right.
You know,
Tarnished.
I heard Zandra's out there in the
Yeah,
corner. You know, so one guy accidentally called me Anna,
Nice.
and I ran from there.
Roll with it,
Let's
baby.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Fran.
my name. That's my
Yeah.
name.
Diana.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I met new people, I was Anna.
No shit.
For 7 years, the guy that I was dating, his family met me as Anna. His kids met me as Anna. I mean, they figured it out. He knew my name.
Wow, that's a hard one for 7 years, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
So,
dedication.
I mean, they still call me Anna.
Wow.
Some of them.
Wow.
They're like, we can't help it. I'm like, don't force them to do something. My middle name is Anita.
Oh,
It's close
So
enough.
it's
Ah.
close enough.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, yeah.
I'll co-sign that shit.
in
all
English,
would-
it's Anna. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I changed my name. I'm going by Anna. You know, driving these cars, unregistered, uninsured. I just so happened to be on Oak Street, and someone didn't put the plate on the car that we were driving. So now this is like really hot. You're on Oak Street. There's police everywhere. We're getting pulled over. I'm like, well, just pull over. Like, don't make it so obvious. Just pull over. Pulls over, and I'm like, I'm screwed because I have about, you know, 4, 5, 8 bundles on me.
that's enough.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a good 8 bundles on me, and I'm in handcuffs at this point, and I'm being arrested for possession with intent to sell. What do? You get bailed out, luckily. They say always have bail money. If you're gonna play like this, always have bail money, and I did. I don't know how, but I did. And then I got a lawyer, and my lawyer said to me, you know, do you have a problem? Do you need help? And I'm like, yeah, I need help.
Yeah.
But he didn't ask me if I want help. He's like, I need help. He says, I'm gonna hook you up with a counselor, and you do whatever he says. And so I did, you know, I went to detox, and I didn't know what any of this was about. So I do my hair. I do all this. Yeah, go figure. I do my hair. I get into detox. They're taking my clothes. They're running them through. If anyone's been there, you know what it's like. I just couldn't identify. I still couldn't identify.
How old were you?
I was mid-30s.
That's rude to
I
ask,
think
Tito.
I'm going to tell you.
No, I
that's
didn't ask
rude.
her how
No,
old
it's
she
not.
is,
Just a touch.
how old you were.
I just don't remember a lot.
Right. So we'll say the era of 30.
Yeah, that's about right. So, anyhow, I can't identify. I'm not like these people. What am I doing here? That's day one, and I'm really restless, irritable, and discontent. I'm just a mess. My hair's a mess. Like, you could see it. It was bad. The following day, it's getting worse. I'm angry. I'm really angry, and I didn't want to be a part of anything. Going into day 3, I was so weak, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I checked myself out.
I'm better now.
I know what'll make me better now.
The first thing I did was, bag dope and hit the liquor store. And I continued with counseling. And he suggested that I go to meetings. I'm like, but I'm not an alcoholic. I got a drug problem. This is what I'm here for. Like, what are you talking about? And I started showing up to these meetings because they do whatever I'm told. So I show up and I reek a booze.
Welcome.
Because I don't know what it was like. I didn't know you're not supposed to drink before you go. I'm here for help. Right. Someone pointed that out, that they didn't appreciate, people coming in, reeking of booze. And I was like, I can't be here anymore.
Wow.
Which is not in the literature, by the way.
No.
There's nothing in there that says that
Zero.
you can't.
Yeah.
That's why I got pissed with that fucking announcement.
But I really didn't have a desire to stop drinking.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah.
anyhow, moving forward, I don't know. I reached a point in my life for that episode. How long is this going to go on? Am I going to be able to live like this? And it was driving me pretty crazy. So I made that ultimate decision. Like, I got to cut something out. And it was definitely the dope. But alcohol always dominated my life. It was always around. It's my crutch. I need this to get by. I need something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I call my dealer and I'm like, listen, you need to help me. I need to stop doing this. He says, yeah, I'll help you. But if you start taking methadone, it might get worse. Let me tell you how scared I was. And I was like, how am I going to do this? So I stayed home. And it was like The Exorcist. Like, I was just coming out of my body. It was pretty painful. But I got through those days. I still worked.
Oh my God.
I worked and they're like, what's wrong with you? I think I have the flu. It was
flu.
not flu season. They're like, she's got something. Stay away
That's
from
a rare
her. I'm
flu.
like,
It's a rare
please stay
flu.
away from me. Do not come near me. So that was a pretty rough time of my life. Somehow I got through it, but I managed to get this habit of sniffing. So then I switched off to cocaine.
Yeah. Makes
Like,
sense.
who does that?
Us.
Yeah, okay. So that came into my life. And I had done that, here and there.
Periodically, yeah.
But I didn't care for it. But I did it every day.
It smelled good.
No. That was the worst. But I did it every day. And it wasn't really like it was doing something to me. It was more of the habit. And I don't know what year was that. I can't even tell
Era
you.
of 30s.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I was living at home with a family. I had always wanted a family. Like, I had my boyfriend, I had, 2 stepkids, and there's food on the table, but the house was a mess. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And here I am, I've always asked for this. I've always wanted a family. I've always wanted that. And I'm being delivered this, but I'm in the basement. I'm like, I'm doing the laundry. I wasn't doing laundry. I wasn't working out. And that's what I would claim to be doing. I was just so entangled. And that's all I ever wanted to do was more. And it got pretty bad, really fast.
As it does.
I don't know. It breaks my heart sometimes because it took me away from my family. It removed me from everything that I have available to me, and it just took me down. I lived in the same town as my mother, and I just wouldn't visit. I wouldn't call back. I wouldn't make phone calls to them. If it was a holiday, I was always running late, but I was put in charge of the alcohol because I was good for that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, have her pick up the booze. She's there anyway.
It'll be late, but it'll still come.
Yeah.
It'll get there just in enough time after we're
When
done with
they're
our
running
alcohol.
out, yeah. So one of the biggest things, like my sister said, she goes, you know why I always like having you on my phone, Bill? I'm like, why? I thought you hated that. She's like, no, just to make sure you're still around.
Yes.
That one hit hard.
That's tough.
It hit
Older sister?
Older sister. Yeah, I didn't realize the damage that I was doing along the way. I just couldn't see it. And how many times have I put people's life in danger, including my own? And I don't know if I've hurt people along the way. I mean, my car didn't look so good. Yeah, there was a time where I didn't even know how I got to where I was. It was my birthday. And did quite a bit of drinking. I wake up and I'm like, how did I get here? And I'm feeling around. I'm like, oh man, where am I? And I go, oh man, I'm at my mom's house.
Oh, man.
But she had a 2-family. I was renting her upstairs. And like I said, I don't know how I got there. So I'm like, where's my purse? Where's my phone? Where are my keys? I have nothing. It's just me. Let me run outside and see if I left it in my car, because I had a habit of doing that, leaving everything in the car.
Yeah.
So I run down the road. There's no car.
Oh.
I run up the road. There's no car. I'm like, oh, something happened. This is bad. I go back inside and I get my keys. And eventually my friend who dropped me off shows up and he's like, I'm done with you. Like, wow. You were pretty miserable last night. You cursed me out. He had just introduced me to his stepfather for the first time. And I, like...
Made a good impression.
I mean, best.
We always make great first impressions.
The best. And I threw up in his car.
Par for the course.
Yeah, I did a lot of vomiting in many places. But in your friend's car with his stepfather in the back for the first time, that was like, he'll never forget me. So.
First impressions.
Yeah. So anyhow, I make it to work, and I reeked of booze. There's no doubt I was hungover. I'm telling my boss, I'm like, I gotta go home. She's like, I think you should have a drink.
Yeah.
Hair of the dog, baby.
You gotta
All
bite
right.
that dog that bit you back.
Yeah.
So it's my birthday. She comes out with this bottle of Sky vodka. It's massive. She's like, you should
Perfect.
take a shot. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
oh man, is this really happening? Like,
I love my job.
I was so happy. What better? So anyhow, it was, I worked up on Chase Parkway in Waterbury, and my car was at Spartan's, left there from the night before. And I'm like, listen, I got to go. I'm leaving. I got to have a beer. It's going to really make me feel better. Mm-hmm. I go have a beer at Vossi's. It was the same bartender from Spartan's. He's like, oh, man. I was trying to avoid this. That's why I came down to Vossi's. Like, what's going on here? But, as much running as I try to do from family or from, liquor stores, trying to bounce around. I'm like, how does this work? Yeah. So I had a lot of those blackout moments. Not too proud of them. I don't remember a lot, but what I do remember is getting towards the end and just feeling so lost, damaged, confused. Alcohol used to be something that just comforted me. And it was always there for me. But it just got to a point of like, it's taking me down. Mm-hmm. It's taking me down. It's taking me down really fast. Still had the body aches. I still didn't think it was, mixing all the booze. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty rough.
Yeah. It's a rough thing, man. Drugs and alcohol, man, are no joke.
Religious people believe in hell, and I tell you, recovering people have already been there.
That's right, man. That's right. So you come into the end. You come see us. You meet us. I remember, you were there too. The pig roast, her first pig roast.
Oh yeah,
she was there, right? And I look, I'm like, she's looking around, she's smiling, but she just doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah.
You weren't really part of us yet. You were like, I don't know about these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kept looking over, and she's just like, oh my God, these fucking people are crazy, man. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh man, I hope she keeps coming, man.
Yeah,
I hope
hang
she
around.
keeps coming. And then you started to.
I did.
So what's it like now, man? Talk about
Now?
that. Talk about this sobriety thing.
So going back to like what you said, like you saw me, I still hadn't really made a meeting. September 12th was my first meeting, 2022, because I didn't think my life was unmanageable. I mean, I surrendered. Look at me. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, long behold, it's myself, and it was getting pretty bad, and it got worse. You put the drugs and alcohol down, you think that life gets better, and it just got worse. And I couldn't. I thought I needed medication. I was going crazy, and I was invited to meetings over and over and over and over again. And that day, I went, and that was my first day. And how do you go somewhere that they don't treat you with medicine, and you leave feeling better?
It's crazy.
It was like a release. It
So you
felt
had a good time.
release. I mean, it was scary.
We're allowed to take in it at first, man.
And so then I started making big decisions, because I'm sober. So
Yeah.
I could do this.
I'm a grown-up now.
I quit my job. I'm moving to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
But when I quit my job, it was because I felt like it was getting really difficult for me to kind of balance everything. This was completely new. I never saw an out. I never saw myself putting a drink down for more than, 48, 72, so on, those many hours. Like, that was just a miracle.
Yeah.
So I got into the program, and I kept going. 90, like, let's do it. If I missed a Tuesday morning, and I always remember, it's always a Tuesday morning for some reason, by 12 o'clock, I'm just like a mess. And I'm just looking up, like, where can I go? The fellowship saved me. It did. I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for everyone. You meet so many people, and they care. What? No one called me from the block.
They still don't even know you're
Anna,
not there.
where you at?
They're like, I think Zandra's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Go ask her for $1.
Where you at?
Dude, somebody was saying the other night that they were like, I didn't see them for like 2 years, and they thought they were dead.
Yeah.
Did you hear that the other night? I was like,
They didn't call?
No.
They're like, I thought you were dead.
Thought you died. Okay.
Yeah, so, people in the program is like overwhelming. It's like, what is this person calling me for?
Yeah.
What do they want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was a little sketchy at first. I didn't understand. But I knew that every time I went, I left feeling better, and I was doing better. My sister took me in, my mother took me in. I said, I'm never going to move back in with family ever. I'm never going to move back in with my mother. She took me in. So I fly down to Florida. I did have a conversation with her. I said, listen, because I was fearful. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I know nothing. I said, Ma, I'm coming down there. I really need to get into the program. That's the priority. If I mess up, and she cuts me off, you're not going to mess up. I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and I'm like,
fear.
okay, Mom, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if something goes wrong, I got to pack up. I have 24 hours. Like, there's no, like, 2 days, 3 days. Right. You need to just send me away. And I did that because it kind of helped me.
Little motivation.
Yeah.
Accountability.
I don't want to come back to Connecticut. It's cold.
It is cold, man.
So I got into the program really deep down there. Service work, big time. The biggest thing for me was when I first helped someone new. It was quite the experience, and it was so uplifting to my spirits. I loved it.
Was it uncomfortable too at the same time?
So when I first started, we were going for a walk. I'm like, come on, let's go for a walk, And when I caught myself speaking of God, and like, how do you think you're here? How do you think I came down here? Why are we having this conversation? Like, do you think this is you right now? that's when I kind of paused and I was like, whoa. Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
I was like, oh my goodness, is this really happening? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't me. It doesn't feel like it's me.
It's not odd.
And it felt like I remember that feeling too when I started talking like that. And for a while, I had that imposter syndrome. I'm like, am I just like saying this shit, or is this like, do I mean this? And it took me some time to like buy into it. Like, no, it really is. And then the more I bought into it, the more I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is not coincidence at all. You know, it's crazy.
It is a good feeling though.
So you got sober in Florida, huh?
I stopped
partly?
drinking up here, but
Yeah.
I really got sober.
How long were you down in Florida for?
So I lasted 6 months.
Then it
And
got warm up here.
I managed to do a few things that I said that I had this list, like a wish list.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be goals, but a goal without a plan is just a wish. And I mean, I could go back to like 2015, me writing things down that I wanted to do. And I began to do those things. I'm like, this is happening. This is happening. How did I found a job in Florida on my own. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have a connection.
Yeah.
This was like me. And I just never saw that possible. So I'm maturing. I thought that would have happened in my 20s, but
No.
Or the
I'm a
era
late
of
bloomer.
30s.
I'm a late bloomer. So I said, if I can get a job down here, I can get a job in Connecticut. I really felt like the pace in Florida was just a bit slow for me.
It is a lot slow for all of us from up here.
So, you're praying and I'm halfway through and they're still, yeah, it was just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point
Really good
where,
sobriety down there, though.
Really good.
Amazing sobriety down south, man.
One thing I'll say is that it might be difficult because everywhere you go, there's alcohol.
Yeah.
At like 3 o'clock in the morning at a
There's
7-Eleven.
drive-through.
Yeah, drive
Yeah,
through. Yeah.
I was like, where was that when
I know.
I won't
Connecticut
even-
needs to get that.
But yeah, so I began to call up here. I had some friends who worked for this doctor that I had been dying to work for, man. I've been so many years. I'm like, I want to work for him. I want to work for him. But I made no effort
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
because I just want to work for him. I have the experience.
Yeah.
Come, find me.
Don't you know
Yeah.
who I think I am?
Exactly. But I was persistent. That's not me.
Because you could do that now.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah.
So I was persistent and I got very, very lucky. Well, my friend, I'm like, wait a minute, she's pregnant. She's got to go on maternity leave. So I'm calling
my
her
in.
now. Yeah, it is. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. We still hustle even when we're
There's a will,
sober.
there's a
It don't
way.
all go
So
away.
Yeah.
I call her and she's like, Zan, you're not going to believe this. I'm going into labor right now. I'm like, well, I can't catch a flight right this second. So they ended up hiring someone. I get a phone call a week later. She's pregnant. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm like, girls, keep them coming.
Yeah. Baby factory open.
Here I
Literally.
Literally.
come. Yeah. So
What kind of doctor's office is this?
No, so my boss, he hires me. He goes, listen.
It's an IVF doctor.
He's like, don't drink the water here because if you get pregnant, I'm like, don't worry, that's not gonna happen.
Is this a sperm bank?
He hired me.
Wow.
I was incredibly happy because I had been wanting to work with this guy for many years, and I've been working with him, and he works with me too.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I would like to do half and half. Like I want to do 6 months here, and but it ended up he kind of caught me for 9 months. He's like, all right, do a little more. So give and take.
Do they have a place down there?
No.
Oh.
So
Sandra's like, yo, I'll work for you for 6 months. And then I'll
But
come
I want to
back
get paid for the whole year.
in 6 months.
Well, the thing is that the job is incredible. Like I haven't been to a place, and knock on wood, we all really manage to get along and to make things work. Even if someone's having a bad day, like I work with a lot of women, and he's a male, and he's very hyper and just full of life, and he's exactly what I needed to be around.
Right.
That's most of my
Positive,
day.
man.
Yeah,
Positive.
40 hours a week. It's most of my,
Right. It is.
So, yeah, I just felt like I'm so blessed. Like this is really happening for me. I'm here. I'm working. I'm finding jobs back north. service again.
100%.
Show up. Dino's like, "Oh, do you want to speak?"
No.
Okay. No, I didn't say okay. He said okay.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I'll see you in there. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to get a speaker tonight. Hey, Zandra, you just got back today. Your first day back from Florida. Yeah, you're speaking.
I'm like, all right, here it goes.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the picnics and just the fellowship. Like, I haven't experienced anything like that. Like, this is real for me.
This is real.
This
real,
is
man.
living.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
surreal.
This is living. I really wasn't living before. I just existed. And that's painful. And it's painful to watch others when I know what that was like.
Yes.
And now I feel like I have a purpose in life. And I'm not here just to work, to make ends meet, to gas up the vehicle. I'm here to help others who are struggling just like I do, or I was, because it's still a struggle.
Absolutely.
And, I hear some people say, oh, you make it look easy. I'm like, oh, if you only knew. You want to trade places?
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything
Yeah.
from you. But if you want to walk in my shoes for a little while, feel free.
I would love to trade heads.
No.
No thanks. You could keep yours.
I wouldn't go up there without a shotgun and a flashlight, bro.
No, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The mind can be a very dark place. I heard a lady say, never walk through it alone because it's a dangerous neighborhood.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. I said, oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been up here. I traveled back to Florida last year. But God always, man, he's always directing the show. And now I see it. My plan last year, go back to Florida.
Yeah.
And I did. But my grandmother she wasn't doing too well. And it was like her last days. It was her last days. And, I mean, I didn't even mention that I'd gone through a breakup before I moved to Florida the first time. But, him and I stayed pretty close. And to this day, we're pretty close. We're in the fellowship together. We do things together. We're still family.
We know him.
Yeah, you know him. We're still pretty tight. And the beautiful thing about sobriety is that you're united. And although I couldn't be here in Connecticut for those last days, he sat by her side with my family. That we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Those are things we couldn't do it.
No.
Not capable of an
it was
active
not
addiction.
capable of that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I had just drove down there. I took the train part of the way. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that again. I had to fly back up and then take a ride back down with my mother for 24 hours. I'm like, oh boy, you really know what you're doing. Really knows how to test me.
God.
But it worked out.
Yeah.
I sleep most of the way, so it was all right. Yeah.
That's a pretty mellow ride.
It was.
Once you get past like Maryland, you're like,
That shit, bro.
Look, more
24
trees.
hours in a car?
dude, there's nothing.
They did stop.
Oh.
We did sleep overnight somewhere.
I can
So,
make it an 18.
And she has a minivan.
okay. All right.
yeah.
So a little
So,
spacious.
yeah. That's
A little
Pretty much
better
an
room.
apartment.
Well, dude, my max was for the longest time was like 3 hours. I'll do 3 hours in a car, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah, and then I've gotten up to like 4 or 5. And when they wanted to speak up in the Catskills, they're like, "We'll make a day out of it." I was like, "Bro, it's like 4 hours away. I'm gonna sleep there. I'm gonna sleep, make a day, and then come back." And then you roped me into it, and we did 8 hours. Riley did 8 hours.
Riley, his baby, stayed up the whole 8 hours. Not only that, I forgot at times she was even in the car. She didn't even make a sound. I'm like, is she sleeping? She's like, no, she's just looking around. I'm
She's
like, what?
just chilling.
Yeah, and I was like, if this
that's
baby
awesome.
could do it, I got to be able to do it. But I give
Gotta
you
man
credit.
up.
We would've
24
fucked-
hours with mom.
We would have drew on your face if you did. So,
Yeah. Which wouldn't have been the first time.
yeah. So we've gotten to know you. We've gotten close, and I've watched your sobriety because we watch each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been an absolute joy, from that girl that I saw at the pig roast that time to where you are today. It's not odd. It is 100% God. You know what I mean? And this is a beautiful. what do you call it? It's like a beautiful thing, man. You know what I mean? Real. You said the word real. It is so real. These are people that I can call at any time and say, hey, this is what's going on. And they're like, I'm dropping everything. I'll be right there. I've never gotten that from family. I've never gotten that from my best friends.
Yeah.
Nor did I even deserve it. Though. You know what I mean? But today's different, you know?
And the other part about this too is like, I didn't, obviously I didn't know you in active addiction or anything like that. And I I was a transplant to New York. So when I was coming around the pig roast and I was starting to meet people, the thing that makes us different is that like you look at Zandra's eyes, you look at her face, she's got life, energy, passion, like loves to do this thing and loves to be of service and be a part of and all that shit, man. And I can almost spot a person in public that's part of the program. You know what I mean? Because like they're holding the door a little bit longer. They're saying something nice, to somebody coming through that they don't know, and it's like, God, what a beautiful world we live in terms of our little bubble inside and outside of the rooms, and it's such a beautiful thing because I've had experiences like you have where like people in the program have gone above and beyond for me, where I was like, nobody would even do this if I had like a kilo of cocaine waiting for them to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know about that, dude. A kilo.
Dude, no, because like when I was in detox, the guys in New York moved my wife out of our old house into our new house. Well, I was just in detox, dying. But they moved me, if I paid you a kilo to do it, I wouldn't have any stuff left.
We just took the kilo in your stuff.
Yeah. So like,
and I helped.
In what world, does this shit happen? And so I say that, as a compliment. It's almost hard to picture us.
Yeah.
You little
Maybe
T, a little bit.
I still carry a lot, dude. It's deep.
Yeah.
It runs deep, dude. Like I'll say some shit sometimes in front of my wife, and she'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just start with what's right with me? It's like a much shorter list, man. Let's just start there.
We can nail that down easy.
Because it's bad in there, man. But Zandra, that's awesome, man. I love hearing your story. I love hearing everybody's story, man, because I remember a time where I would compare all the time, and today I'm able to relate to anybody. Yeah. It doesn't matter how high or low when you got here. I could always identify and feel the pain all the time. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse. I don't know.
I think it's a little bit of both, man.
I think it is a little bit of both. But I can feel the pain, man, because I've been through so much pain at so many different levels of pain that I can feel everybody's pain when they get to that part of their story and they're like, and then it got really bad. And I'm like, oh, here it comes, man. I could feel it. It's coming.
Yeah.
I like what you talked about, how, because I did the same thing. I started drinking early, and drinking was fantastic. I'm like, I've arrived, man. This is it. And then marijuana came in, and I was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And then everything I ever tried after that, everything else took back seat. I was like, screw weed, screw drinking. I found LSD. This is like the best thing in the world. Then, the dope, then the pills, then the crack. Crack cocaine is my true love. Absolutely 100% my true love. I've tried the marijuana maintenance program. I tried the just drinking. I tried to just work 30,000 hours a week and don't get high and don't drink and all that stuff. But one thing that I always go back to is my true love all the time. You know what I mean? Today, my true love is the fellowship that we have and the relationship with my higher power. That's like my true love right there, man, And as long as I stay close to that on a daily, I won't fail, And like our boy Matt always talks about gratitude. Always look for gratitude all the time. And I say this a lot too. Like I rarely struggle. Yeah, it is hard at times, but like the struggle, it's just not as hard as it used to be, man. And it comes a lot from just not fighting it anymore, man. I'm just, I'm good with living with what I have instead of like constantly trying to run away from being an alcoholic and a drug addict. I don't want that stigma on me. So I'm going to live, think, act, breathe, all like I'm not an alcoholic or a drug addict. And that never worked for me. Today, I accept it. I live with it. You know what I mean? And I find that I'm pretty fortunate that that's what I have, because it could be a hell of a lot worse. You know, Dave. I call him Dave the Pirate at our men's meeting, but he's got these long handlebars, mustache.
I think I've seen him around.
He says this all the time. He goes, you know, I'm really happy that I'm an alcoholic, you know, because I have the only disease that needs my help to kill me. You know what I mean? And when he says that, I'm like, oh my God, that is so true, you know? So, yeah, I can relate a lot to what you were talking about. The true loves and everything would come. You're just like, and then the unmanageability, and then the allergic to things, man. Oh my God, man. I must be allergic to vodka, so I'm just gonna drink Jack Daniels, or I must be allergic to the rolling paper I'm smoking the wools with. And
Well, I thought it was the food.
Yeah, the food.
They
Yeah,
have a lot of chemicals in food, so.
I thought iced tea was my biggest problem. Yeah, because I had an ulcer one time. I mean, it wasn't a half gallon of Jack I would drink on a weekend. You know what I mean? It was iced tea. I was drinking too much brisk.
I know.
You know, so just insanity and chaotic. And today it's so different. It is so different. I have a life beyond my wildest dreams, and I know you do too, because we see each other a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing to watch. I know what you're doing with your recovery in your life. I'm doing the same thing, so I know how you feel today. You know what I mean? We could relate to that too. Yeah, there's a progression in how we used to live, but there's also a progression in recovery as well. As long as I work this thing on a daily basis, this thing grows, you know, and it's mind-blowing, man. I can cry literally almost every day.
Go for it.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it right now.
Okay.
But I can, man. I could sit there and like think about it.
Not right now. I'm not gonna do it right now.
Holy Jesus, man. Holy crap. But you did a good job.
Yeah,
You
hell
did a
yeah.
really, really good job.
And I will say, Zandra, I am impressed, Anna.
Anita, what is it?
Because
Anita.
Anita, like, that was the biggest relief for me. Like, because I don't know what your experience was like, but I used to dip into meetings and I'd like dip out because I didn't, that shame and that stigma was so, I had that ego that was hollow, you know, like I was so fearful, and God forbid you thought I was an alcoholic or an addict. Like, I couldn't let anybody in the outside world know. And when I fully admitted that and I gave up and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to listen to whatever you guys tell me to do, I started to own that. And then I was like, it was a badge of honor. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, I don't have to lie. I don't have to be Anna for 7 years of my life. I could be, you know, the Jonathan. And then through that, I started to look at like my character defects and this shit. Like, I ran a group today. One of our coworkers went out on maternity leave. And I'm running 3 groups in a row. And I was talking this before we started the show. Like, I was in the bathroom and I was like, why am I running a self-esteem group? I'm like, I'm the most confident guy out here. And I was like, ego check. And then God came in and was like, dude, do you remember the 4th grade? And then this whole story transpired. And I was like, dude, I was put in self-esteem class in 4th grade because of things that other people saw wrong with me, that they deemed I needed a class. Obviously class didn't do anything because I turned to drugs and alcohol to like feel wanted, right? But like for so long, and so I got up in the middle of class and I just gave a lecture for like 10 minutes and talked about it, and people got up and started clapping. They were like, "Oh my God, I identify." And then and this is a group of people that aren't, you know, some are not us addicts and alcoholics. Some are just dealing with mental health issues. You know, some are dealing with other life issues. But when we become honest, man, I can relate to you. You know, I can relate to Crystal. I can relate to Dean. Like, I can relate to everybody, and I can identify with that. What a blessing it is, you know. I don't have to run and be this fucking. They used to call me Ace. I used to do a lot of cocaine in bars, and I wouldn't talk anymore. I'd go sideways, and they're like, "Oh, here's Ace. Ace is all right." And that's what I used to do, man. I used to go to bars because I like drinking. Of course, I started with that. But at a point, like, I just went to bars until you guys were drunk enough to go in on a bag with me. And then I'm like, all right, let's do it. And next thing you know, it's 3 days at Heidi's Motel, and I'm checking the windows, and my jaw hurts so bad, you know, and it's like crazy, you know, and I don't have to be Ace anymore.
Yeah. No more Ace, man. No more Ace.
No more Ace. What a beautiful life.
Yeah. Nailed it, kiddo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks. I'll shout out Crystal hanging out.
Crystal.
Yes.
Say hi out loud.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi out loud. Out loud.
Out loud.
Hey, girl.
So Crystal's going to be hooking us up behind the scenes with all of our, because if you notice on the podcast, we're not like as apparent and present in terms of like social media and like, you know, I'm a crackhead when it comes to posting the video, but then anything after that, you know, and so Crystal's give us some great direction and
need
expertise.
help.
Yeah,
We need help.
Yeah, we do need help.
I'm not too proud to say that today. You know,
Not
I
at
need
all,
help.
man.
I need help, man.
And one of that came in the form, and I think, you know, Zandra, I don't want to take your clout here, but you came up with a great topic. And it's like you went through a breakup. How do you go through that shit sober? How do you know, because what are we dealing with? A shit ton of emotions. And like you were saying, you know, it's our hearts involved in this. And all of a sudden, like, yo, I numbed my emotions for so long because I didn't like that. And now you're talking about the most powerful one. How do you do that? So I throw this out to the audience. You know, who's ever experienced a breakup? How did you get through it? What was it like? What did you do? Was that a point of contention? Is that how you relapsed? Is that, you know, like what, you know, because I don't know what's wrong with that girl upstairs.
She's a walking red flag, bro.
She's a walking red flag.
Oh my god. Oh, I love it, man.
But
You
Ash,
didn't see that?
you didn't see that? That's what I was laughing
I
at when
never
we
looked
sat
at
down.
Red flag.
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, look what a gentleman. And she stuck with me for 5 years of my active using. You know, she would find some wrenches around the house, and she was new to all this. She didn't know any of this. She doesn't. She's a normie. And God bless me to give her the strength to get through that. You know, so that I can show her now, and I can provide this life that she deserves. You know what I mean? A beautiful baby, you know, but she stuck with me. I didn't have to go through that. You know, I thought dude, I was in detox, man. I didn't know I didn't know if they were moving my stuff or they were just moving her stuff, and they're like, figure it out, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, that would have run through my head. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I had probation looming. I didn't know if I was going to be violated, go to jail. You know, like all these things were unknown, and what a gift. So I never had to experience it. So I'm interested to hear. I'm eager to hear what breakups are like in sobriety. I'm eager to hear from people on the outside about that, you know, because that's something, you know, that's a yet for me. Yeah. I pick up that pipe.
Oh God, dude. I just said today, dude, I was talking to somebody, they were like, oh, dude, your sobriety and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you know I'm only one dumb decision away from just burning this. One dumb decision. Because that one dumb decision is definitely going to lead to another one, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to dumb decisions. That's another thing. Like, I'm addicted to my own ideas. Like, I come up with an idea, and I'm like, foolproof. There's nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
This is going to work out exactly the way my head just said it was going to, you know? So
I sell them.
Yeah.
One dumb idea for $20, 5 for 100. Bro.
Yeah.
Cut you in.
They say one side of my brain manufactures bullshit, the other side buys it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the truth, man. That is the truth.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, guys, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share.
Yeah.
John brought up a good topic. He threw it out to you guys. So let us know how you deal with
your
breakups
topic?
in sobriety, courtesy of Zandra's story. We're going to move on to, I think we're going to watch a little video, and we're going to talk about that video.
Yeah. Let's. All right, let's restart this.
Focus. I think we put way too much focus on the worst day, and we forget the first day. We show you pictures of drug addicts, remind you of your family members who were struggling, and say, look how horrible life turned out for them in the end. Rather than sitting you down now, looking you in the eye and asking you honestly, with all you've been through, some of you, the struggle you've seen, why in the world would you take a chance and let it begin for you? I think we put weight.
I think he's talking to some kids.
Yeah, he might be doing his that's Chris Herron, so the Herron Project, famous basketball player.
Chris. I've actually had the opportunity to see him
I was there.
in.
Talk?
No, this was in Wolcott, Connecticut.
Wolcott,
This
yeah.
was years ago.
Oh,
He
you
was
didn't-
amazing. You know who he is?
No.
He used to play for the Boston Celtics, and he was a heroin addict. His first game with the Boston Celtics, he was late to the court because he was waiting on his dealer to show up with some dope so he could hurry up, shoot it up, and go play. amazing story. If you ever get the opportunity, he does come around a lot.
Yeah.
He's like a circuit speaker.
He does. Yeah, he was in Naugatuck probably 2 years ago.
Wow, he's amazing, man. But it sounded like he was like doing like some kind of intervention with like maybe youths.
Yeah.
There.
So what I got from it, and this is what I'll throw out there. I like this new movement, Recover Out Loud, because you know, the program that we do, you know, anonymous and behind the scenes and be secretive. I think like I was out there and all over the place being an asshole and a drug addict and being, you know, and that's all a lot of people saw of me. That's all people thought of me. So why will I allow you to just remember me by my worst times, my worst, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to share my shit when I'm, you know, sober, because, spread the love. And then for people like me that were stigmatized, didn't want to go to places, didn't want to be identified like that, it showed me like, it's okay, man. It's possible and it's normalized, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was okay with vomiting in
Yeah.
front of a
Yeah.
crowd of people, but
Yeah.
when it came to prayer, I was afraid to like say the Lord's Prayer. with the group.
Yeah.
That's just
It's
strange.
crazy, right?
It's crazy.
So like Lori does that thing, Recover Out Loud.
Cover out loud. Man. I think it's awesome.
And I think it's a good movement, you know, because it's important to see like how much better life gets when you get sober, man.
Yeah.
How your connections grow. That's why we do this, you know, like share the good stuff. We start with a story of how it sucked. Yeah. Well, it usually doesn't start sucking. It starts
No,
awesome.
it always starts off with I was having fun. I was young. We were drinking. Everything was
Yeah.
great.
That's why I asked you if you
That's a good
remembered your
feeling.
first drink, because I remember mine was a scotch.
Well, I don't remember what it was, but I remember that feeling.
I remember that feeling, and I
What it
remember
was.
how terrible it tasted, but how good it felt.
I think mine might have been moonshine. I was in Puerto
She's
Rico.
like, I think I went blind for a little bit.
I was in Puerto Rico, and they used to make their own moonshine.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't remember.
I remember exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was a liter of anisette.
Oh,
You know what anisette is?
that's like an Italian.
It's a sipping liquor. It's not a.
It's like an after
Chugging.
dinner
they
liquor.
put it in espresso.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Kahlua almost.
Yeah.
Not Kahlua, Sambuca.
No,
it's
it's-
like
yeah.
Sambuca. A whole liter of that with a 2-liter bottle of orange crush soda. By myself in my parents' house, and the in-laws set up downstairs, and I'm just like glug, 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 glug. I feel great. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
Drink a little more.
But like you said, I couldn't wait to do that again. I could not wait to do that again. Should have known. Should have known right there. But I really like Chris Heron. He does help a lot of people with his story. He goes on that syndicate. I'm actually on Saturday. I'm speaking at a place called I can't remember the name of it. It's a church, but it's called Homeless Awareness. But it's for high school kids.
Oh.
So what they're doing, and they do this every year in Woolkit, they conquer the whole entire green with tents, and they make the kids sleep outside. They do it right near
In Wolcott?
yeah.
Okay. The Walk Center?
No.
In Wolcott?
On the green.
Oh.
Wait, is it at Wolcott?
No way.
Yeah. This
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they do. All the kids come to this church.
Be there.
You went there?
I'll be there.
You will?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
You're gonna come Saturday?
I'll come.
Awesome. I did this a few years ago, and I've never spoken to like a humongous crowd of kids. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? I can't swear. I mean, do I talk about drugs? And the guy was like, dude, tell your story.
Yeah.
Just tell your story. And I'm like,
Here
it goes, man. And I did it. And all the kids were like, wow. So then they do a Q&A after. And I wasn't the only one there, but I was the only recovering alcoholic and drug addict there. Everybody else was like counselors and other types of people. I was the only recovering drug addict that was there telling a story. So when it came for Q&A, all the kids were like, what was it like being homeless? And what was this like? What was this like? And they were all coming to me. And I'm like, oh my God, they were really listening to me, man. And I didn't know. A couple of days later, the guy who asked me to do it, he was like, dude, you were amazing. The kids can't stop talking about you. The following pig roast, some girl is coming into the pig roast, and she was like, "Your name's Dino," and I go, "Yeah." She goes, "You spoke at homeless awareness last year." She's like, "I was kind of struggling." She's like, "But I've been sober ever since."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and again, like I want to just cry. You know what I
I
mean?
have chills.
She ended up being a daughter of one of our friends.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I told you, like my daughter was there. She got so much out of it. And so I did it again last year.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened, you know? So he asked me to do it again. I'm like, say less, dude.
Yeah,
I'm there,
I'll
dude.
be
You know what I
there.
mean? There's no question that I belong there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know how I speak. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I'm banging my hands.
You're
so
there.
you have no choice but to pay attention. So yeah. But I think that there's so much help. There's so much help today.
So the Heron Project also offers payment for treatment. If you're struggling to pay for treatment, they'll scholarship you. They'll also do sober living for you.
Yep.
They'll cover your first month until you can
Amazing.
get on the feet. Like they do a lot of stuff, man. They're awesome. So
Yeah. That was
it's good
Chris
stuff,
Herring,
right?
man. Yeah, it's amazing stuff, man. There's so much help out there. There's no more excuses, man. The only excuse is today. The only reason is today. Is you're just not ready and you don't want to get the help. That's it. Period.
Well, and the other one I like is you can't claim to be a victim if you're a willing participant.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean?
That's it, man. So I think we're gonna move on to the last segment of the show. I haven't come up with anything. I don't think you've thought of it, but I know
Nope.
Sandra's been thinking about this for all week.
Yeah.
Because I told her we still do the one time bro segment.
Do you know how to say one time, bro, in Spanish?
Well, you put me on the spot.
Sorry, I'll cut it out.
One time, bro.
Because I'm trying to say one day at a time in Spanish, and Andreas told me how to say it, and then I forgot it. It's like un día.
Un día a la vez.
Yeah, probably
There
that.
you go. Bam.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I might not be.
I'll call enforcements.
I'm
Oh yeah.
Spanglish.
Back up. All right, so you can. Are you gonna call her
Yeah,
for
I'm
real?
gonna call her and put her on speaker.
Oh my god! All right, here we go. Phoning a friend.
That's what I did for this one time, bro.
Did you really?
Yeah. I remember a lot.
Yeah, it's tough out there. It comes though. Comes back. Oh, your phone a friend is really failing us right now. Maritza.
That's my wife. Man.
God damn it. I guess the world will never know.
That's all right. We'll bring it to you next week. Wow.
Yeah, you got the VM. Oh,
What the hell were we talking? Oh, the one time, bro.
yeah, in Spanish.
One time, bro, in Spanish. So, again, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share. If you need help, we have guys. Get in touch with us. Comments. The topic that, courtesy of Zandra, that John brought up, how to deal with breakups and recovery. Because that could lead to some really shitty thinking, and shitty thinking leads to drinking, man.
Sure does, buddy.
Stinking thinking.
Una vez, hermano.
Okay.
I was thinking about it the whole time.
Una vez,
That's
hermano.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so one time, bro. Zandra, what do you got for your one time, bro? So this one time.
So this one time, bro. Obviously, I'm gonna go straight to I was really hammered.
Sure. Start it off.
And I don't know. I guess you can call it not. I don't know. I wouldn't say stalking, but I was spying.
That's called stalking.
It's called stalking. So I'm sitting in my car, and I have brand new car. It's 2015 Malibu, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just waiting. I'm like, I know this guy is coming out. I'm just obsessed with this guy, and I couldn't get a hold of him, but I was gonna find him. It was just insane. So I'm sitting in my car, and as soon as I see movement in that parking lot, I speed over. You know, I could have crossed the street, but I speed over. And I get out, and it's his friend. And I'm like, where is he? You know where he is. And this kid's like shaking. He's got his Wendy's here. His little soda's shaking. And I'm like, I'll smash every car in this parking lot. You don't tell me where he is. He's like, no, seriously, he's not with me. He's probably peacefully sleeping at home. Anyhow, I get back in my car, and I go to back out, and I hit a pole. I go to pull around, and I hit the pole again.
Damn pole.
Damn pole. Get
I
on
go
my
to
way.
take off, and I sideswipe the pole. So I hit
Was it a pole?
one pole
Like 4 times.
3 times. And then as I'm exiting, I run over the cellar. So it's like boom, 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 boom. And then so I continue to drive up the road. Now I'm fearful because I just made a mess. I don't know if I hit a car, which I confirmed I did not.
Nice.
I missed every car that I threatened to damage in the parking lot, and I smashed into that one pole.
The goddamn pole got you.
Meanwhile, I'm driving down the road, and my car, I'm like, what's going on? It won't go. And I'm slamming on the gas. I don't know what I'm doing. I look down, and my shifter went into manual gear, so the car really wasn't like pushing through.
Yeah.
So I figured that out. Drive around. My mom didn't live too far, so I don't visit my mom, and here I am dumping my car over at her house because I'm afraid. I leave my car there. It's pretty late at night. It's like 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, how am I going to get home? Let me just walk home. So I'm like, walk, run, because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Walk a pole, run a pole.
Kind of dark out. I get to the house or my apartment. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have my keys.
Oh.
Again, I don't have my keys to my car. I don't have my purse.
Yeah.
I had to call a friend. I'm like, listen, Karen, you got to come pick me up. I need a ride. She's like, what happened? I says, I don't know. I scratched my car up a little. I left it at my mom's. So she picks me up and she brings me around. She goes, what the fuck did you do? She said, you said you scratched your car. It looks like it went through a Ninja blender. So that's my one time of really wrecking a vehicle with one pole.
You were a lot when you drank, huh?
Sorry. Quite a bit. Yeah. You know, someone recently told me, you're a lot. I said, and I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yes, that's right.
You can go find less.
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
enjoy that. Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like it just got a little scratch on it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it was.
You can buff it out with some
Oh no,
carnauba
the
wax.
tire was like blown
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
completely. It's like, how did you hit the front end, the back end, the tire's blown out? How did I manage that?
It takes talent.
Yeah.
It takes talent.
I say that from experience, too.
Okay.
Place of kindness. Because my one time with the car, multiple cars, they were always
Oh,
around.
this guy's
They
a
were always
flipper.
around.
So you have a one time?
I've got so many of them.
Go ahead.
It's ridiculous. Did I ever tell the one time about my days on a motorcycle? Do you remember that?
You told us one time on the motorcycle where you couldn't really
Lift
because it was a big bike
yeah,
for you.
because it was so heavy. So there was one time that I was such an entitled drunk that like I had lost everything. I was on the verge of getting kicked out of the house, and my parents were like, you know, they wanted me to still be employed. Which, mind you, I never lost a job when I was drinking. I lost my only job in recovery. Like I got laid off in recovery. So what the fuck?
Go figure.
So at this point, I had no car. My father or my mother found a Reliant K car from a family friend or something. You know, you guys ever heard of the Reliant K cars?
Yeah, you had to build them yourself.
Not a kit car. A K car.
car?
It's called Reliant K. It's the most square boxed, ugly looking piece of thing. But this poor lady who sold it to us was very old, and it was like 15 years old and had like 10,000 miles on it. But I got it, and I was like, I can't be seen in this shit. So one night we go out drinking, and I'm hammered, but I was one of those people who couldn't do it.
Blow that
on their
up.
own.
Blow that
Yeah,
up.
Here you go. Here's a Reliant K car.
Oh,
Look at that
yeah.
fucking masterpiece. Of a
Oh
car right
yeah, those were
Beauty.
those were
It's a
tanks
beauty.
though, bro.
there. Well, not this. Well, it was. This one
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah.
Chrysler? Like a
The Dodge.
Plymouth Reliant.
Plymouth.
Reliant K car. Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Roll up windows, the whole nine.
Dude, that looks all you all day, baby. That blue one right there, that shit right there.
So I got roped into this conversation. This was back in AOL days, and we were IMing with what we thought was a female, and she invited us to a bar. And so we went out to meet her, and we'd already been partying. And we got to the bar, and we realized that there was a lot of dudes at this bar, and there weren't really any females at the bar. And we're running around trying to find this girl, and she's still like communicating with us, and I can't find her. So I was like,
Turn around.
I was like, you know, fuck this, dude. We're leaving here. And we left shit-faced, and we both agreed to never talk about this event. So I'm not naming names of the other party. But we left, and I was just such a wreck. I was just so wasted. I was like, fuck this. And I drove through the streets of like Brewster and it just like hitting cars, just like not cars, but like bouncing off poles, and not by mistake, like on purpose, And I'm dying. I'm laughing like it's hilarious. It's so funny. And all this shit. And the guy that was in the car with me was laughing. We were so wasted. And I got, the car was a tank. It got home. And the next morning, I remember my mother waking me up. I was like, what happened to the car? Oh, my God. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got hit in the parking lot. And I came out to the car, and every single side of the car was mashed. Like, I don't know how I got out of the door. It was all bent up. The front end was cracked up. The rear and the trunk wouldn't open. The passenger door was all fucked up. Like, everything on this car was smashed. And she was like, you didn't get hit. So that was my one time, and I destroyed that Reliant K car. But it survived. I don't know what happened to it, to be honest with you. I don't know if we were able to sell it or just junk it, but that poor car.
I'd let you use my car. Even though all the cars that you've talked about in your one-time bros, destroying all them,
yeah,
I'd let you use my car if you
Thanks,
need
buddy.
it. Yeah.
I'm a pretty good driver
You've
now.
come a long way, bro.
You cleared my car.
I cleared it. Yeah, God was working there, too.
What'd you do?
So I liked how Zandra parked, and when
yeah.
there was a little room right there, but I forgot the...
You have a hockey rink out there.
Yeah, the hockey rink of a driveway. So I pulled in, and then all of a sudden it just was like, "Meep," and all four wheels caught. So I was like, oh, all right, we're good. Keep it moving.
So good one-time bros, guys.
Yeah.
Should I get one? I have a car destroying one too. I didn't destroy any cars. I was just a passenger. So I was 15 years old. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was heading to my first heavy metal show ever.
Oh,
I've been to a lot of concerts, but I never went to a heavy metal one. My first one was Kool and the Gang, Billy Ocean,
Caribbean Queen,
Joe Cocker, like all mellow stuff. And I heard of this band called Gwar. And everybody, all my friends were like, yeah, we're going to Gwar to Sting in New Britain. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I can't wait, So that night, I'm getting ready to go out, and, I'm going to dress like a metalhead. And my mom looks at me, and she goes, where are you going dressed like that? You're not leaving the house. I had ripped jeans on, a tore T-shirt. I'm ready to be metal. And my mom says, no, you're going to dress nice.
Oh.
So she makes me wear a white sweater. Anyway.
What?
Oh, yeah. So my buddy has this Ford Bronco on these huge monster wheels. I mean, this thing was like 46 inches from the ground. It was insane. Nothing was inside the truck except for his seat. So it was completely empty. So we pile up in this guy. We head out to New Britain.
It's like the shaggin' wagon.
It was insane, dude. That thing was just dangerous. So we get to the show. The show is amazing. I don't know if anybody knows about Gwar.
Yeah.
Gwar is very theatrical band.
Yeah, they dress up and stuff.
They dress up, and they are so politically incorrect. It's not even funny, and they spew out blood into the audience. And I have a white T-shirt on. By the end of the night, I was blue, red, all kinds of colors. There was some real blood, too, from the head that hit a speaker. It was an awesome night. My first metal show ever. I knew that this is where I belonged. I'm a metalhead through and through, man. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad that happened that night. But we happened to run out of cigarettes. And one of our friends, which I won't name because I don't know if it's been long enough, but I still don't want to name his name, said, hey, to the guy who owned the truck, let me use your truck. I'm going to go across the street and buy cigarettes. Cool. It's winter time, a lot of snow out there. So he's like, come on, Dino, let's take a ride. So I'm like, cool. We get to the store. Everything is fine. We head back into the parking lot, and he's like, watch this. Oh, no. Now, we've been drinking all day, all night, smoking weed. We went to a bar that was not carding anybody, so we were drinking in there too. He was like, watch this. And he literally monster trucks over.
All the cars?
Not all. Not all. One or two cars in the beginning of the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, my God. What the fuck are you doing, bro? And he is cracking the fuck up. He's like, yeah, let's do another one. I'm like, all right, fuck it, man. This is metal, bro.
Yeah.
So we literally run over probably about 6-7 cars
Oh
in this
my
parking
God.
lot. And we park it, and we walk in.
Like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. We even forgot about it for the most part. Show's over. We're all getting ready to leave. We go out into the parking lot. He's like, where the fuck's my truck? He's like, yo, where'd you park my truck? And I'm like, dude, he did park it right here. He's like, I parked it right here. We don't know where it is. Somebody stole his truck. He's calling the cops. Somebody stole the truck. And somebody goes, hey, is that your truck over there? So obviously people saw us doing this. This was not like in a farm town. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess somebody who owned one of the cars got so pissed off that they called a friend of theirs who had a plow on their truck, took his truck and plowed it all the way to the back of the building,
my God.
and then packed snow.
Oh, that's great.
So there's like 8 of us digging this truck out with our hands all night long. And then we ended up going home. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, the one and only time I was in a monster truck jam, man. So
Out of
white
our
sweater.
show.
I miss that dude, though, man. Oh boy.
Good times, man.
Good times, man. Hey, listen, I'm sorry for anybody whose car that was.
Yeah.
I apologize. We were young and dumb. Mm-hmm. So that was my one time, bro. So
Nice.
yeah, cars are no good around us when we're drinking, huh?
No, dangerous. Dangerous weapons.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow us, share, subscribe, like, all that stuff. If
Do it
you
in
have
reverse.
Comment, share. If you need help, get in touch with us. We have guys. Zandra, thank you so much. So much for coming.
And girls.
being
Yeah,
our
we have
guest.
girls too.
Huh?
And girls.
And girls. Did I not say girls?
No, you said guys.
I'm sorry. Guys and girls.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the topic for next week, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know how you get through breakups and sobriety. And I think the only thing I have left to say is thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down a road